call this meeting together. And out of respect, please turn off all your cell phones. If you have any hats on, remove them. We'll stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, is anybody else going to be recording? Paul, can you go and check and see if anybody else out there is recording, please?
No one.
No one? Okay.
No one back here is recording.
Rich, you're going to be recording?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, at this time, are there any corrections to the minutes that were put in your packages, directors? If not, then there's no corrections to be made. All those in favor of taking these minutes as written, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Board correspondence, Ann?
Congratulations to the Brookridge Beautification Committee for the BCPO for approving the appearance of our previous entrance sign. The landscaping design under the sign is beautifully done. It reflects the attractiveness and beauty of the rest of the community. The water fountain with its wall of surrounding flowers is striking in front to the guard shack. It makes you feel like you're entering a town and country community. Well done, Beautification Committee. However, what I would like to see is a continuation of the beautification improvements being made to this community. I am concerned regarding that the actual sign will look like when placed in the sign holders. They may detract from the improvements made at the front entrance and in front of the guard shack. Let's continue to make Brookridge attractive by getting rid of the sign holders. We can keep the trees behind the signs because they enhance the overall appearance of the community. Let's finish the job and keep Brookridge beautiful. There are a couple of alternatives if the community insists on keeping the signs. One choice would be to limit the number of signs coming into or to one or two, excuse me. Another suggestion is to take them down all and or replace a couple of them toward the gate exit. Let's face it, we can always get information about the clubs and the news and views on the community cable TV station. I realize that many seniors charge is hard to accept. I realize that for many seniors, change is hard to accept, but is for the overall good of the community. It is well worth it. It reminds me of the old adage of the delicious apple. What good is it if you bite into it and it has a worm in it? We can all stand together on this issue. This really is no downside to this. Signed, Charles Ackermeans, Unit 6.
That's Costas.
Okay. Unit 6. Also, we have a letter addressed to the president. Rhea, please slow down, sign on the boulevard. Dear President Keller, I want to thank you for the prompt attention you gave my previous letter regarding the fast traffic coming down Midmore Boulevard. Since having two separate signs placed in Midmore, it really doesn't seem to have made a difference in the speed of the traffic. This after observing a little over a month since they have been placed. What's the answer? I don't know. But I did want to commend you on your immediate attention. Many thanks again. Sincerely, Eileen Wise.
Okay. Now for my report. Neighbors and friends. Since we have not been able to come together as a community this year, I thought I would speak directly to you about activities and plans for our community this year. I want to first take a moment to thank several people who during our ongoing COVID-19 shutdown continue to work together to help our neighbors. These folks sewed almost 500 face masks and distributed them at no cost to anyone who needed them during this crisis. They also ran errands, took people to appointments, picked up groceries and prescriptions, and checked in on some of our more frail neighbors. It was heartwarming to see how our community works together to help each other. I especially want to mention one person who coordinates this effort and continues to be a community resource. Joanne Burns has worked tirelessly to make life easier for many in our community. She not only kept track of who needed what when a request for books and puzzles was mentioned as our clubhouse was closed. She gathered donated books and puzzles, spent hours sanitizing everything, and spent 4 hours in our clubhouse parking lot creating a safe, temporary library. Thank you, Joanne. On behalf of myself and the board, I also want to thank everyone who gathered in the parking lot at the last workshop meeting to express their support for us. Even though you wore masks, we could feel your smiles and support. We recently received the resignation of Director Gail Metcalf. The board will be meeting later to determine our next steps as to whether to appoint a replacement. We thank her for her service to our community. In other news, our front sign project is now complete. Many thanks to the project committee and the beautification committee for a job well done. Our road paving project for this year is also complete except for the lines being put on the street. Recently, one of our code enforcement vehicles broke down and I asked Director Rick Stratton and Captain Schubert to research our options. Due to the budget restraints, we'll be looking into repairing this vehicle. Our ad hoc committee for the repair of our clubhouse floor is hard at work determining what is the best, safest way to proceed. Our ad hoc committee for proposed building addition to the clubhouse is ready to bring their information to us today. But I don't think that's going to happen, is it? No, it's not going to happen. A major concern of mine has been the safety of our community. I need your help and cooperation to make Brookridge a safer place to live. We are doing a great job looking out for our neighbors and reporting suspicious activity to the proper authorities. Now we need to turn our attention to our streets and the traffic laws we have in place to prevent accidents and injuries. Please observe the speed limits on all of our streets. Remember our neighbors use our streets to exercise, walk their pets, ride bikes, scooters, and golf carts. By keeping our laws regarding speed limits and stop signs, we will keep everyone safe. I know it's very frustrating at times to have all of our facilities closed or with limited access. We are isolated from each other for our own safety in order to comply with our state and local regulations. At this time, our governor is sending out weekly updates, and as soon as we are given the go-ahead to open the office and clubhouse, we will. We are working on ways we can meet safely while still protecting the health of our community. I promised you all when I ran for the board that I would help to improve communications between the board and our community. With this crisis, we must find creative ways to work together. I have found out in the past month that the best way to communicate with me at this time is to drop off a letter at the admin office. Just be sure to put my name on the outside of your envelope. The office staff can then route your request to me. Our monthly newsletter, News and Views, is another great way to find out contact when you have questions. It has the list of liaisons for standing committees and names and contact information for community clubs. You can find copies of the newsletter at the clubhouse or at the administrative office. I want to hear your suggestions to help our community. I will be working on other ways to improve our communications in the coming months. As you have elected us as your board of directors, we have a responsibility to listen to you. We work for you. Together, we can continue to make Brookridge a happy, friendly community. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, how about the general manager's report, Ray?
Yes, sir. Purchase orders over $2,000. We had two, one for $55.62 for the mower deck for John Deere, and one for $26.27 was to purchase the Sherman-Williams paint when we painted the clubhouse. Those are the only two. Anybody hear that?
It didn't come through
You
real
didn't
quick.
come. I'm not hearing it.
Sounds good here.
You heard it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Ray. How about your the other manager's report on the,
The first draft?
yes.
Yeah, that's inserted as part of my SOP requirements. The first budget draft is attached for the finance, for the treasurer to convene his finance committee.
Okay. All right. The next treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is this coming through?
Yes.
Okay. Treasurer's report as of April 30th, 2020. Operating account balances was $475,884.22. Broken down as accounts receivable assessments, $53,347.66. AVRC fines owed, $64,106.53. Liens on file increased, if our recollection is right, 3 additional from last month, now stands at $91,702.90. Our total accounts receivable, $134,049.72. Operating expenses by departments. Administration, $28,775.88. Facilities, $26,533.33. Public Works, $18,896.17. Code Enforcement, $25,610.01. Total expenses, $99,815.39. Accounts used for major repair of existing BCO property. Reserve accounts. Current balance as of April 30th stands at $1,806,900.30. During the month of April, reserve expenses. One was paid out for the John Deere 72-inch mowing deck at $5,562. A second expense paid out of reserves was for the 2020 paving for the signs that were posted to notify all of our residents of those areas, $218.33. A total for the month of $5,780.33. Moving on to our final category, which is for accounts for specific or non-budgeted expenses. Social clubs bank account stands at $32,466.99. Donated funds spent month of April. Sales tax bingo, $25.15. Clubhouse wish list for pizza was $22.35. A payment was made to entry sign landscape of $2,834. An appreciation breakfast was moved to Memorial Day in the amount of $200 for a total of $3,081.50 from donated funds.
Okay, thank you, Dennis, very much. Let's move down to finished business. Swearing in of new ACC members, Rich Stratton.
Come on, Harry. You got it. Good, thank you. Here he is.
Hey,
There's Harry.
Hey, listen here.
Hear me okay? Good. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna swear in three of the gentlemen here for the ACC. And we got Harry, we got K.O., we got Paul. Just like in the service, where you raise your right hand. And it is a service.
That's right, yeah.
Installing Officer Rich Stratton, do you solemnly promise to swear that you will administer the office to which you have been appointed to the best of your ability and judgment, in conformity with the governing documents of Brookridge Community Property Owners, Inc.? That you will, in all your acts, be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible, endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interest in the citizens of Brookridge and the welfare of membership. Installing Officer Rich Stratton, do you swear? Answer? I do. I want to get married here, okay? Thank you very much. May I lower your hand? By the virtue and authority confirmed by me, I hereby proclaim you as duly appointed ACC and officially installed in the office. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen, for volunteering. Okay, one other tabled item is reserve account, front sign monument. Rich, did you and Denny work on that?
If you remember right, we talked about that. I was going to check with the auditors
Right,
to see if we could, in fact, do that.
okay.
So, yes, we have, I did the work on that and I'm ready to report out.
Okay,
So, just as a reminder for everyone, there was a motion made at the May 5th meeting to move money from the reserve account for the monument or the front sign to help offset some of the costs for the new sign, electrical work, some of the other work that was done there. It was proposed at that time by Director Stratton that we move that amount and take it from the reserve account to pay back donated funds. I don't believe that we can do that. That's not a good accounting principle. I did the check on it and the auditors agree. What we can do is instead of taking and moving the money to donated funds, both donated funds and the reserve account funds would go to the general operating to pay the bill. So with that in mind, I'd like to propose an amendment to the original motion that would state approve up to $6,262 from reserve account 9260-12 towards the front sign monument refurbishing costs. Approve up to $6,262, no cents, from the reserve account 9260-12 towards the front sign or monument refurbishing costs.
So you're amending that motion then?
I'm putting that out as an amendment to the motion.
Okay. Do I have a second to that amendment?
I second it.
All in favor by saying aye and raising your hands? Aye. Unanimous? Okay, the next one we had, Rosemary, you want to handle that and tell them what's going on with this?
As of now. Okay. As of right now, Sandy Kalisak, who was the chairperson of the ad hoc committee for the storage, looking into storage, extra storage in the clubhouse, she proposed to me that we table it for the time being due to coronavirus concerns and also because of our financial situation here in the community right now. So we would like to just table it indefinitely, and then when the time comes, we will look at it again.
Thank you, Rosemary. Okay, Code Enforcement Vehicle Patrol 1, Mr. Padone.
Code Enforcement Vehicle Patrol Vehicle 1. The analysis has been the transmission has failed and the cost to install a new transmission was listed as $4,251.99 from Register Chevrolet. The recommendation has been to replace the vehicle with a new vehicle, preferred to return to a work truck that would hold up longer the type of driving performed by code enforcement. There is a reserve balance as of 2020 of $99,503 for this element within the reserve budget. The proposed motion is to approve up to $26,000 plus tax for the purchase of a new replacement vehicle from the reserve funds. If approved, we can negotiate for the best price from any of the area dealers. I make that motion.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Seconded by Director Stratton. All in favor by raising their hands?
Mr. President,
Discussion.
Oh, discussion first, that's right.
Register's looking for $4251.99 for the vehicle repair. So I'll make it very simple. It's 5 minutes. Now the price is $4,000 out the door. I negotiated with them, not on the transmission, on the labor of the vehicle to be repaired. So now it's $4,000. You break that down, that'll be $37.35 for the transmission, $20 for the odds and ends. It'll be $37.55 plus 6.5% financing. Should pay taxes, gives me $4,000 out the door. By going over there, just say 5 minutes time to save $251, we can use that for something else, like 4th of July party or something. My job is to save money. That's the name of the game. If we don't think about that, too bad, we're saving money, I'm sorry.
Rich, could you also tell them about the warranty that comes with the transmission?
Warranty, 3 years, 100,000-mile warranty on that transmission. So we won't keep the vehicle long again.
I think that'd be the best thing in all of our interests, to tell you the truth. If we could get 100,000 miles in 3 years warranty on that, I think that would be pretty good. Any other discussion, Linda?
I didn't catch where you said that was from, Rich.
Registered Chevrolet.
The $4,000 one or the $4,251?
I renegotiated with them.
Oh, okay, it was all with register.
5 minutes, gave us $200.
Okay.
Rosemary, any discussion on that? Okay.
At this time,
And Rosemary, how about you? I gotta remember who's on what side of me. Yeah.
Okay, then, go for it.
Do you have anything to say on that?
I do not. I think maybe we should get it repaired. I mean, 4,000 versus 26,000, and the warranty is amazing. 3 years, 100,000 miles.
Right. Rosemary?
I'm in agreement with Rich because if we can get 100,000 miles and a 3-year warranty for $4,000, then we can look at a new vehicle down the road when we have money in reserve funds to do that. It'd save us 3 years before we even have to look at that. It sounds like a good deal to me.
Mr. President,
Dan?
just a thought that crosses my mind. This vehicle, it is a small Chevy Spark, not built to, but it's a small vehicle, not built for the wear and tear that we put on these vehicles 24 hours a day. That's a concern that I have. That vehicle is slated to be replaced in 2021 in our reserve budget study.
Correct.
So, yes, we can replace the transmission, and now we have a perfectly good transmission with a 3-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and then something else goes wrong in the next year or so, and we're right back replacing it. We've got a relatively brand-new transmission in a car that collapses on us from the wear and tear. That's the only question that I would pose to the board is, does that make good sense long-term? Or do we go ahead at this point and look at replacing it with a vehicle that was maybe designed to operate under the conditions that our code enforcement uses?
Well,
And I don't know that I have the answer to that. Rich, I acquiesce to you because of your automotive background.
I'll answer your question, and I'll look at it to legally, let's say this here, how many miles do we put on a vehicle inside the park, inside our community? The vehicle stands inside our community, okay? Now, my version is 6.2 months drive around in 3 years, 9,900 miles. 100 miles drive around outside the park. We spend almost 10,000 miles outside the park driving around, looking at what? That's my case. You want less miles? Whatever it is, that's some miles right there. You make the call. Pardon?
well, could we, table this motion for another 60 days to see what we can do? See if we can find something out there that's going to be viable, or if this is the best way we can do it?
President, I'm
Yes,
taking
sir.
time right now. I'm gonna read off a few things here. They take time. Here we go. Golf cart, probability, right? Advertised price, $59.95. Base cost MSRP would be $96.13 on that vehicle, therefore you bring about $10,000. How about a 2020 Camry, front wheel drive, $25,000. You break it down, the report says $22,000. What I have to work with, I'm gonna skip by to the Chevys, right? I'm gonna give up to the board right now a vehicle that we had discussed. You see some big circle there. That's money. We're talking money here. That's the vehicle that we got an idea with the process right here on the agenda, $29,995. Okay? So, this is what the report, you see black and white, doesn't it? My board. Okay, see the item circled?
Mhm.
It's money that you don't even discuss with nobody. I do. So, I mean, buying a new vehicle, it could go 60 days. You want to sit down and discuss it from beginning to end, top to bottom. What's the price?
Yes, Ann?
I'd like to ask code, enforcement, without this vehicle, how are your shifts running? Are you penalized without this car?
Yes, I am hamstrung. Without some sort of resolution, whether it's a new vehicle, whether it's a new, a transmission or something, I really can't go another 60 days without a second vehicle because that second vehicle that we're using now is going to have is having the same issues that Patrol 1 has. So we're going to wind up with having nothing.
So my question to you would be, are you okay with rebuilding the transmission? I know,
Well, yeah.
actually, you would like to get a new car. I
No,
get it.
no.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I never asked for a new vehicle.
Okay,
I never asked for a new vehicle. The issue becomes is if we stick with the reserve study, the $4,000 that we'll put into the transmission in May will last us till January when that car is slated to be replaced anyway. So we're looking at 6-7 months. So I never asked for a new vehicle.
okay.
Replacing the transmission is fine.
So I don't think we should be without that vehicle either. And if we're gonna table this, I think that we can make a conscious decision here with your input that you really want to get another vehicle on the road.
I need something,
I understand.
yes.
How about a bicycle?
Well, I'm
So-
walking every morning.
Unless he be my guest.
So my question to the board is, do we want to make this gentleman wait? Or
No, I
let's
don't
just
think so.
let's fix the transmission. I mean, we got 3 years. That's a long time.
If we
You got
go with
something to
that,
say?
with the transmission,
Okay. I'm very much open to the discussion. And I don't know which way is right or wrong, so.
if
Go ahead, Linda.
if we spend that money on the transmission and it's scheduled to be replaced in 2021, what does that mean? Does that mean we don't replace it till 2023 then? You know,
Well, if it's still running, you have to understand that
right,
the good side is you have a 3 or 100,000 mile warranty on the transmission. These vehicles, both vehicles have almost 90,000 miles on them to begin with. That 90,000 miles, that 3 or 100,000 mile warranty is not for the air conditioning, it's not for the engine, and it's not for the radiator, it's not for all that stuff, it's strictly for the transmission. So, yeah, I mean, we can continue to put money into it and drag it out as long as we want until it just falls apart. Sure, that can be done.
Got a good comment in it, and we're very good. If upon purchase of that vehicle, and you said they always broke down, right? Some all vehicles that break down, we could have bought a warranty policy, less than 100,000 miles, less than a new transmission plus.
Why can't we get one of those on the other side?
It's already used. When you buy a new vehicle, you can negotiate the price of the vehicle, down out the door, you can negotiate a warranty for 100,000 miles, you can negotiate for it. You did that. If you don't, you got the regular warranty. If I had on my sheet there, all these cars that look at the trucks, if they don't have a warranty, your Kia gives you a 3-year, 100,000 mile warranty, engine, transmission, total car. That's your conditioning. That's something else. But 100,000 mile warranty on an engine or transmission, that's wonderful. I can't beat it.
Rich, is that for a commercial vehicle like ours, or is it just,
Doesn't matter.
It
You buy
doesn't-
the vehicle, it's on warranty.
okay.
How about warranty on the trucks that you were looking at?
Those warranties are only basic warranties. Yeah, the bike's got a warranty if you want to, but those warranties are just 3 years 36 or 5 years 60 on the drive chain. A lot of people do not go and buy extended warranty. That's like what they do, they go and buy insurance themselves. Some do, some don't. Yeah,
Yeah, I bought a warranty on my car, and, it was like $1,900 up to 150,000 miles, 5 years. So, where we want to go with this, folks?
Well, this paper that you gave us, Rich, what are you talking, that the out-the-door price on that vehicle is 31,000?
no, that's just paperwork. If you look here, they gave you the price of the vehicle. In your,
I know, in the packet, but what's this then?
that's the invoice. That's what the cost is on the whole bet ones.
Yeah, where the check mark is out, there's money that we can
Nothing
get
about
back.
buying a free car.
I'm sorry.
I'm a girl, I don't know nothing about buying a paid car.
Well, Linda,
I see 31,900.
Linda, yes, but when you get into it, when you research it, if you want a dishwasher or a dryer, you research it. Man or woman, I don't care. You research the product.
Yeah, because the copies of these vehicles that you gave us, are, are roughly, $26,000. The one thing I had a question on, too, some of them was one of them that they went to, I don't know why, Orlando?
Orlando,
GMC of Orlando, this one that's circled
Yeah, it's online.
on our
If
paper.
that was an online research,
It's not like
that's an
research.
online research that we
Online
did for the,
research?
for the
But that's
general
not a-
prices in part.
That's a GMC though out of Orlando, or?
It's sitting at home using your computer.
I understand that, but just,
Okay,
yeah, I guess I.
Madam Director, what I was tasked to do was to find out roughly the prices, okay? And due to the change in, the situation now, you just don't walk into a car dealership anymore and go face to face. A lot of it is done online, and they have their inventory online. So when you search under a Chevy, okay, .com or GMC.com, you put in your zip code and you give a radius of 50 miles or 100 miles, and it shows you the inventory of what you're looking for in that radius. That's why you see things from Orlando, you see things from
Okay, gotcha, okay,
Tampa.
gotcha. The other question then I had was some of these pictures on here are four-door trucks. Do we need a four-door truck?
They're just, what it was, that's what they had available. We did the survey, looked at them. We just looked at them, that's all.
Okay.
We know what we want, but you gotta kind of look at everything around.
Well, I'm
Maybe a
trying,
four-door truck was cheaper than a two-door truck.
well, I'm trying to compare apples to apples and not
Right,
apples
that's
to
why I
oranges,
negotiate
so, okay.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
after listening to the conversation here, my thought process with this would be, I think we have an immediate need we need to address right now. And with that in mind, regardless of the life expectancy of the sign and where we are, I think it would be in Brookridge's best interest to extend the 4,200 or 4,000. Let's fix the transmission. Let's get the vehicle back on the road. Again, I look at you, Rich, with your knowledge in that car industry. We're going to have other vehicles that will be replaced in the very near future. And going forward, I agree with you. There's much better things out there. I don't believe that whoever made purchases in the past necessarily had that knowledge to work through and make the best choices for Brookridge's long-term interest. So I would be open to amending the motion to approve the cost of the transmission to get the existing vehicle repaired. Let's live with it. If we can make it go another 3 years, wonderful. It's to our best interest. And then we make much smarter buying decisions moving forward for new vehicles to replace them down the road.
So you're amending your motion then?
I am amending my motion, and because I only have it in pen here, the 4,000, I would probably amend it to what we had stated on the original invoice that we had, or the quote of, be sure I got the right one in front of me here. Yep, 4251 and 99 cents for the replacement of the transmission in the sign.
Okay, do I have, go ahead.
Can you put in that, can you put in there up to 4250, and then that way I can find the best price wherever, we're not locked into a place. Rich and I can go, and that way we know what we have to spend, and we get the best price and the best warranty.
If you can do that, I put those two places, you're looking at difference about $55.
Okay, well,
And if you go to a transmission place down the street, they'll give you a rebuild. They
No,
don't give you-
Rich, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I want to make sure is that we keep our options open with regards to where we get it replaced or repaired. Yeah.
I know it's $4,000 right now in Chevrolet, they say $250 in 5 minutes. That's my case.
Okay, so I would amend it to read, make a motion to approve up to $4,251.99 for the replacement or repair of the transmission in the code enforcement vehicle sign.
All right, do I have a second on that?
That would be Rich's second. He's amending it, Rich would be
I'll second it.
Okay,
amending, second the amendment.
okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Okay, new business. Get my stuff down here. Topic is the SOP purchasing policy 8.6 of February 4th, 2014. Quotation, bids, 5.3C, adequate and appropriate insurance, state and county licenses, bond and waiver of liens on all jobs for $10,000 more will be required of all vendors according to existing state insurance laws. Analysis, we need a bond and waiver of liens on all jobs $10,000 or more to put it in the bid. Our recommendation is changing the SOP 8.6 purchasing policy on February 4th, 2014. Quotation bids 5.3C to read, all vendors must have state, county license, adequate, appropriate insurance, bonding, and waiver of liens by all vendor bids over $10,000 or more, as determined by the general manager or the board president. So I propose a motion to add the words state and county and bonding and waiver of liens by all vendors bids over $10,000 or more to SOP 8.6 and purchasing policy of 2 on February 4, 2014, quotation bids 5.3C. Any discussion on that?
I'll second it.
Second by Dennis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous. Motion passes. Just about as heavy as mine is. There you go. Okay. Okay. That one's done. Okay. All right, we have a gentleman here that's on the ad hoc clubhouse board committee. Wayne Barton, would you please come up to the podium?
Thank you. I am Wayne Barcombe, Unit 4. was submitted to the board requesting that they form an ad hoc committee to look at ways and means of repairing the clubhouse floor. The board voted to have an ad hoc committee. They voted to have Rosemary Basteri as the liaison, and I was asked to be the chairman. I asked two gentlemen, Tom DiGregorio, Kenneth K.O. Curl, to be on this committee with me. K.O. brings a substantial business background, contracting background with various companies up to including Disney World. Tom brings a background of negotiating contracts, and I learned a lot from both of these guys. I really did. My background is small contracts and doing floors on Navy ships to big contracts and building submarines. We looked at quite a few contractors. Some we kicked out. We vetted them. We interviewed them. They all came to the clubhouse. We asked a lot of questions. There are several types of floors that are available. There is the tile floor, replace it with tile. There's also what they call the poured floor, which is a two-part epoxy floor, which you see in places like Disney World. I just saw it if you want to see a great example of it, I was over at the Bayfront Hospital this morning. In the emergency room is a poured floor. It has a wow factor that you wouldn't believe. There's also a concrete overlay that can be done. I'm going to ask these gentlemen to come up and tell you about the floors. Looked at tile, two different types of tile. There's a luxury vinyl tile, which we have down. There's a vinyl tile, composite tile, which is mostly made out of limestone, which is a good commercial tile. We've asked them to break their contracts down to just the hall, the main hall, and the entranceways. And we've asked them also to break it down to do the entire clubhouse. So you're going to find packets up there that have this information from all of the vendors. This committee was not formed, nor did we address any fault of this floor. We didn't address, we didn't point any fingers of blame, nor will we. We were just asked to find fixes for the floor. These guys spent a lot of time going around our community, various places, to look at floors, look at the products that were done. Every contractor is willing to be bonded. And I'm going to let Tom DiGregorio explain bonding to you, because what I thought bonding meant, I was wrong. And I would be willing to bet that unless you're in that business, what bonding does for us, the contractor. Before I turn it over to these guys, I did the tile section. Do you have any questions about tile? What we have down now is what we call a luxury vinyl tile. There's also a vinyl composite tile. Went to Walgreens, the company that I interviewed has done a lot of places around locally. They've been in business 25 years. They're licensed and insured, and they're willing to be bonded. I looked at their product that's 11 years old at Walgreens. It still has a wow factor. Everybody's been in Walmart. Look at the tile on the floor there. I mean, you can see where it's broken with the slab underneath it is broken. Every manufacturer, every contract we talk about, everything we submit to includes demolition. And what that means is coming in and removing this entire floor, putting the floor back to as pristine condition as possible, filling in all cracks. And what they do is they do a V-groove in any cracks. They fill that with a two-part epoxy resin to make the floor level. They will pour leveler where it's needed. We also have on the committee, KO brings with him a background as a competition dancer. So we looked at the floor for the dance value for our dances. We looked at all the floors for durability. We looked at all the floors for maintenance. Every floor is gonna require maintenance. Every floor is gonna require, at the 5 or 6 year mark, which we can put in reserve funding, a redo. What a redo means, they're gonna come in and they're gonna chemically scour the floor, clean it. And they're gonna chemically reseal it, bring it back to a pristine condition. And, I'm gonna ask KO to come up now, because he wants to talk about poured floor, is that correct? That's Tom. You want to do yours now, and come up, talk about poured floors. A poured floor is a two-part epoxy resin floor. If anybody's ever had a driveway done, my driveway is done with two-part epoxy resin. And we drive on it, you can't even see a tire mark on it. And it's been there for a year. I want to turn it over to Tom here for the poured epoxy resin. Does anybody have any questions about tile? You look like you have a question, that's like a, go ahead, yeah.
I have a question.
Yes,
You mentioned a lot of different types of flooring.
yes, ma'am.
Have you gentlemen kind of zeroed in to maybe one or two, or they're still?
We have a preference,
Okay,
however, it's not up to us.
I'm just asking.
It's up to y'all.
I know. And
But we had a
also,
disagreement about that, by the way, but these guys are wonderful to work with, and we could sit around and we disagreed, and we talked it out. We had a meeting that included Rosemary's, and she was a big help to us. Yes, we do have the committee has a preference, yes, that
okay,
we would like to see. But the ultimate decision is lies with you, the board.
well, it just depends on the way you present it to us, if we still like the same as you.
This guy right here is passing out. I didn't know him before we started this committee, but he has a lot of knowledge when it comes to contracting. Has a lot of knowledge dealing with big companies like Disney World, airports, big places with water parks and stuff like that.
That poured floor, what's life expectancy on it?
You and I will not ever see the end of it.
Okay.
Life expectancy is,
Past us.
oh my gosh,
Okay.
yeah, way past us. I mean, and every one of these floors can be damaged.
Sure.
You know, if we drop something on it, but every one of these floors can be repaired. You know, if you ever go out to Papa Joe's, this floor is a poured floor out there. Poured means they actually pour the chemicals on the floor, and it bonds and it makes its own pattern. It's up to y'all what color you want to pick out. And I'm not going to get into that fight, because I spent 30 years in the Navy. I had black shoes, brown trousers, and brown shirt. That's all I had to know. That's all I had to know. So they put a lot of time and a lot of work into this, and we are confident, very confident, that the contractors that we present are all upstanding contractors. Some of them 25 years in business, another one 3 generations in business. One of the companies that do a poured floor, I did business with them back when I was a young fellow in the Navy, when they did poured floors on Navy ships. I didn't know it until I talked to the guy in here. Yeah, the committee has a preference, but it's not the cheapest.
Tom?
All right, guys, come on. One guy's a Marine, the other guy's a civilian, and I had a hard time with him. Don't laugh, it wasn't funny. Yeah, I've been ready for you.
Okay, that was 20 minutes, I'll get mine up. What is it?
I got it right here. This is Tom DiGregorio, one of our residents. No, you're gonna tell them about bond because I'm gonna say. Ask them, anybody over here knows what bond is, this one you're in.
Mr. President, I heard you just a few minutes ago, saying that paragraph or sentence that you're gonna change in one of the things. And did give the word bond.
Area.
So, Hello? Alright. So basically, what I'm gonna do is tell you, what I know about bonding, contract bonding, okay? It's an item that the contractor can get from their insurance company or different insurance companies that offer. The way it actually works is depending on their financial finest, that your credit rating is.
Credit rating, correct.
Okay? The lower your interest is going to be.
Correct.
In addition to that, they will also do some background as far as their client's satisfaction. So somebody that has a 1% interest has an excellent, yeah. So you don't have to worry about that too much. If somebody has an 8 or a 10 interest, they're not really good financially.
Correct.
And if we ask them for a bid with the bond in it, and then ask them what the bond costs, well, right away you see how much it's going to be. You know, who's going to be good and who's not.
We don't have to do the background.
We don't have to do it, but.
Right, the insurance company, I was in insurance for 25 years, I know all about that.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, I'll start with the Scarfy Enterprises. Now, that's a poured epoxy floor. As Wayne was starting to tell you, basically we remove all of this stuff that's on the floor now, scrape it down to to just the concrete itself, fill in any cracks that might be in it, no matter how big or how small, fill it in, and then they start putting different items and different chemicals onto the floor. The first one would be like a moisture barrier, so you don't get moisture coming from the floor and creating problems. And then they have other types of things that have to go through it. It's a big progress. It's probably about a 5 or 6 steps to do, with the 24 hours in between before they go to the next step. What we had here is, as you have in your tables there, it will show you on the first page that it's it says about removing the existing floor, removing the baseboard, grinding and preparing for the tile removal, furnish and install the Duraflex materials. The first page is basically just for these 2 halls and all the hallways. Okay, so you can see what's there. The second page is all the rooms that what they did was measured everything separately. Okay, and in this case, you just added all the rooms together, and you did it that way. The next one's going to have every room separate. So by looking at what you're seeing there, you can tell how much it's going to cost. If you just want to do the auditorium and the wall and the halls, or if you want to add different rooms also. And we can, or you guys can, decide if there's some rooms that are good enough and not used as much that maybe what we have in there now, we don't need to do anything for it. And they can leave that area alone and cut that back on the cost. Okay. So that's that one.
Tom, I have a question.
Yes.
On number 2, it says price does not include leveling, slope, or fall to drains, not responsible for puddles or bird baths.
Correct. That's basically if there was a dip in the floorway, okay? I don't think we have any of that. But if they get to the point and they say, after they take everything off and start grinding and everything else, if they find they have to fill it with some kind of a level bore, and they would charge us a little bit more. Okay.
Thank you.
Area that was full of water. It's floor talk, but it's a big difference.
Thank you.
I haven't noticed any big dips in our floors.
Out there.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, the second company is J&L Imperial Decorators Concrete. They do both the epoxy and they do a concrete pour. And I'll explain the two of them. You already know what the epoxy is. It's the same exact thing that the other contractor would give us. All right, you can see we're installing the moisture barrier and all the rest of the stuff on here. The first page gives you a price for the whole, for the whole, every room and the halls. Third page, you'll see the room number, how many square feet it is, and you see it says concrete overlay. That's going to be the next one I'm going to show you. The one that says epoxy is the same one I was just talking to you guys about a few minutes ago. Okay. So the front page is there. The first page is for the epoxy, which includes the halls, and all of those rooms that you see on page 3.
Did you get to see some of these floors?
Yes.
Yes, we
You
have.
know, like this concrete floor?
Yes.
We looked at it all,
Huh?
we looked at all,
Okay, and,
that's why we have a preference.
okay. Okay. I'm kind of curious on this concrete one, what the final
We will be providing.
outlook is.
I had pictures and stuff, and we can't show them tonight because of where he's sitting. And you will send them to Ray Rowe, and he will include the pictures in your packet.
And if you can get to see them on the big screen, you'll really be impressed.
Okay.
Okay, so basically that's first for J&L for the epoxy. The second page is exactly the same except it's concrete. Basically, it's the same procedure, but with different chemicals. Okay. And the chemicals that they buy are a little less expensive, so that's why the pricing is so much different.
Now, the first one was out of Dade City. Okay. Where's this J&L out of?
They're in,
Oh, we went far and wide.
yeah, we look for the best. Actually, what I did was I called up the manufacturers and asked the manufacturers who were their best installers. So that's where we got our people. I don't know exactly, I don't have the paperwork in front of me where they are.
I
But they're all, they travel wherever they have to go.
North End.
North Tampa, okay. So as I was saying, the second page is concrete. Concrete is used a lot on the outside, on pools, outside patios, stuff like that, but it's just as well works in here. The difference is they can actually make it look like tile. They can make it look like on the parquet on the stage right there. It look like wood, different sizes. I mean, when you see the pictures, you'll see what I mean. The epoxy is nice, and it has a real deep depth, and it has some wild things that you can do it, or you can make it calm. Like there's a couple of pictures there that one was looked like an ocean. I was a bit seasick just looking at the picture. So it's amazing what they can do. And it's, as Wayne was saying, if anybody was ever at since Papa John reopened, their floor is now 6 years old, and it looks brand new. So all of these things are scratch-proof. The life, it said the life of these on the epoxy is 20 years and more. And the concrete is anywhere from 10 to 20 years. The thing is, every 5 years, or depending on how much use the floors get, you have to determine, and either of these companies would come in and do a top layer again. So that top layer is going to be,
So it has maintenance.
absolutely,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I was just kind of curious, Tom, too, on the concrete, because we do have a dance floor.
Yeah.
Does it seem like they make it really smooth? I mean, for like a dance floor?
Even though
I mean,
it says, even
okay.
though you say concrete, it's concrete overlay. It's overlay, it's going to be smoother than the top,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
The first company was giving us 1 year on their work, and 10 years, I believe it was, for the material, because that's what the manufacturer was manufacturing the material. The second company, the one that's giving us that J&L material, for those, either one of those types of floors, he's giving us a 5-year warranty for everything. Labor and everything. Yeah, labor, material, everything, 5 years. So unless there's any questions that I can answer, I'll get out of the way.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go over the other 9 contractors that we talked to, I have their estimates. No, I'm just kidding, we've got one more. That's Rivera's, flooring, kitchens and more, they're right here on Cortez, just up the road a little bit from us. They have a luxury vinyl tile product, very beautiful, durable product. It actually comes with a 30-year warranty on the product, 1 year on labor, but they do extend that if, something's defective. But 30 years on the product, which is really, really good. If we're looking at the longevity of which we should be looking at everything in longevity. It's an 18 by 24 inch tile. Ease of maintenance, you wash it with soap and water with a mop. It's a seam to seam grout, so you don't see the grout lines. They do have it broke down per room, so that the board, as they get into this more, they can decide if they want to do the main building area plus the halls. And then we've also got all the other rooms, D, E, F, and et cetera, and so forth. It's a very good product. They clean and prep the floor, and they do everything like that. Any questions on that side?
Can you tell me what these little initials are?
The LVT,
That's like $68,095.
12,756. What is that?
the what now?
Luxury vinyl.
And 2 little like
Oh, the 2 little things, I asked Rick so that it's easy for you to find out. That's for the main building area, which is off to the left, if you follow this route, and for the halls. Those are the 2 prices for the main building, hall area here in the hallways.
Okay.
That makes it easier for you guys to spot it real quick, so the prices. And all the other prices are per room, which the board as they get into it, as they get more information, and get it out to the members, so that the members can help make the decision on this. They can decide how many and what needs to be done, because there's a couple of rooms that really should be done. Now, we did have, preferences. I don't know if anybody said exactly what our committee preference was, but you did. It was the poured, epoxy. The epoxy poured floor, it's just absolutely beautiful. Has anybody ever gone to dinner at Papa Joe's? They've got it on the floor up there, and they've had it for now going on 6 years, and they just love it. And we went and looked at that floor, and it's got such a wow factor when you walk in. You just say, wow.
What did you do to test it?
There was a very high sitting chair that they use at their high top table, cast iron. It did not have any casters on the bottom of it. It was cast iron to the flooring. I pulled its full weight across the floor. You could hear it go like fingers on a chalkboard. And then I got down on my hands and knees and checked it. There was absolutely no scrapes, no scratches or nothing. That's how durable this floor is. They also use it extensively at the theme parks, especially Disney. And if Disney's going to use something, it's a fantastic product, because when they put something down, it's going to last for a long time. But that's what we like the best. Although I have to say that all the contractors we talked to and all the products that we looked at were really, really good. So, any questions? I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Wayne Markham, the chairman of this committee.
I was a tile guy. You have a accent carpet tile. They're right here at Mustang Drive. Where's Mustang Drive? It's right down by the airport, flea market. They've been in business 25 years. I've looked at various places around the community that they've done, like say Walgreens, places like that, a Walmart, a small Walmart that they did. They do only tile. They give us a bid on the very first page, the clubhouse auditorium. There's 2 storage rooms on the end, the halls, janitor's closet, the doorways, the hallways, and the south hall. And that total there, you can see that on the front, on the first page. The customer will do the baseboard in the auditorium, which means that the customer will pull the baseboard. Yeah, we'll replace it, because all the baseboard needs to be replaced. And then following pages for accent tile break out the rooms separately. The total for the whole building runs about $59. I spent a lot of time at the VA hospital. Went down and talked to their maintenance guys there. They have tile on the floors. They have 2-part epoxy floors, and they have also in some places they have ceramic tiles. The maintenance guys like poured epoxy. Every one of these floors is going to require maintenance. If you want to last, the original floor that was done here was done in the 70s, I think. So it lasted quite a while. There's tile been in the VA hospital for 40 years. Every one of the floors requires maintenance. Every one of the floors, manufacturers will warranty their work up to a year, some up to 5 years, warranty the installation. Every one of them are willing to be bonded. Now the bond price is not added to this because we haven't negotiated a contract yet, and the board hasn't decided yet if they want to do just the hallways and the auditorium, or they want to do the whole building. The whole building's over 15,000 square feet. When I say whole building, that's the 2 dressing rooms, storage, the maintenance room back here. The only thing we didn't have to do was the kitchen. Yes, Ann, you have a question?
I do, Wayne. Can you tell me what the baseboard is? Does that mean the wainscoting or just the bottom?
The wainscoting is the vertical paneling that you see. The baseboard is the 4-inch molding on the bottom
Okay,
that will have to be removed.
now, if that's just that bottom piece, do you think the wainscoting is down to the floor or it's up 3 inches?
Ma'am, I haven't seen that installation. I can't answer that.
Okay,
I don't know. You'd have to ask Vince.
okay, thank you.
I asked to have this committee formed. I said in the letter, my concern was the raised edges and some little old senior person tripping over it, falling down, breaking their hip. We just lost a good friend, Doreen Uzanis, a resident who fell and broke her hip. 11 days later, she was dead. We had to bury her. So that was my concern when I put the letter in. There is also a short-term fix. I know we don't have the money, but Vince Pizzo, where Vince is, if Vince lays down 4 to 8 coats of wax on this floor, big job. But if he lays the wax on it, it seals it. And you will not have any piles come up. You will not have people tripping over any of the edges. Vince, you want to explain the waxing? This is not just Vince's idea. It was come from one of the contractors, which Vince can do it. I'm convinced Vince can do anything.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Waxing the floor would take roughly 2 weeks. By laying down at least 10 coats of wax at probably $100 a coat or more. Basically, a 5-gallon panel would do the whole floor. That'll be almost consistent of probably 15 to 20 gallons, 5-gallon pails of wax to do the floor, with 10 coats of wax. You have to remember that the floor that was here had roughly 15 to 20 coats of wax on it when I first started. They had it stripped a long time ago, and they stopped stripping it because it was damaging the tiles. The tiles that were on the floor were standard VCT. This is luxury vinyl that's on the floor now, 1x2. The only thing when we go to wax this floor is that you'll lose all warranty on the tile itself. This tile, when it was selected, it was selected, not selected, but it was determined to be used as far as the thickness of it, okay? And it was also the thickness of the wear surface on the tile. Yeah. So when you go ahead and just go do the wax of it, that's how much it'll cost. Probably, I think when we do the waxing every year, it was about $1,500, $2,000 to do all the wax on the floor.
How long will that waxing last?
We did it once a year, depending on as the floor aged. We were doing it just the hall itself. This hall, twice a year for New Year's Eve. We would in the last part of December we would close the hall for 3 or 4 days. That way it looks nice and pretty for New Year's Eve. And we would do it later on in July and August for the upcoming season.
Any questions for Vince on waxing?
No, but I'd like to ask them, excuse me, they're not gonna take the bottom of the wainscot, they're not taking the wainscoting, but they said that they're not gonna do the baseboard. Is the wainscoting to the bottom of the floor?
In this particular section, with the north hall and the middle hall, and the south hall itself, the wainscoting is standing about 2 inches above the floor. The slats themselves are sitting about roughly 1.5 to 2 inches above the floor. So when you pull it up, you'll see a gap about 1.5 inches. That's the way this baseboard is designed. It's designed for the slats to sit inside it, and there's a gap, so it's got room to move up and down within the framework of the top and bottom piece.
So how does that affect this, that we removed the baseboard? How does that affect the floor? Does that make it an issue? Because,
No, but the baseboard must be removed
correct,
because the tile or the poured epoxy goes up against the wall. The baseboard is decorative. In
correct,
this case, it does cover that gap,
okay.
okay? But to do the entire floor, I talked to Vince before, part of the committee, and he said that he and his people could remove the baseboard and store it themselves. And that would save us some money on demolition of this floor. I have a contractor not do it and having Vince and his people do it. Don't know if that answers your question, but the baseboard has to come off.
I understand that. My question is, if the wainscoting is down to the floor, flush to the floor, is that gonna make a difference when they lay the floor?
No,
Because we won't be able to put that baseboard back.
Yes,
yes, we can, yes.
it goes on the face of,
I know where it goes.
well,
It doesn't make any difference if the wainscoting is down to the floor or if it's up from the floor. The baseboard can be replaced after the floor has been fixed, whether it's a poured floor or tile floor.
Okay,
this baseboard is notched.
it is?
It's notched on the face, it comes down like this, and it's notched, and it comes down to the floor with a thicker section. So as you see the tile up on, or the baseboard itself, about an inch and a half and 3/4 of an inch down from the top edge, that's flat. It fits the
Into the
wainscoting
grooves
thickness.
of the wainscoting that baseboard does?
Yes,
There's
there's a groove already cut in the baseboard, so when you go ahead and remove it, the baseboard will be sitting that far off the tile.
See, the wainscoting is sitting down in the baseboard.
Yeah, I'm concerned that when they put it in, it's gonna be a different depth. We can't go all the way back.
It won't be, the depth will be the same as the tile,
Okay.
which has already been taken into consideration.
Correct.
Depth of the poured floor or the new tile floor will be the same depth.
cut that back.
And it can always be cut back some.
It's only,
It's just a construction thing that we can do.
Thank you.
Any questions? Be more than happy to take any questions from the board or even from the residents if you want me to. Whatever you want to do it.
Okay, well,
It's up.
appreciate the job you guys did. You did a great job.
I want to thank these two guys a lot. I learned a lot from them.
Thank all three of you.
Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Boy, that's a lot of things out here, isn't it? Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about this as a board and everything. And, at some time or place, we'll get together with, get members' comments on this and everything when we decide what's the best way to go right now. All these quotes look pretty expensive and everything. Let's go ahead and go to the report of directors. Mr. Stratton, do you have anything?
No, everything was filled out already. Thank you very much, sir, Mr. President.
Mr. Treasurer?
Yes, sir, I have two things, thank you. First off, I'm forming my finance committee for the budget for the coming year, 2021. And I would appreciate anyone that has interest in serving on the finance committee, if you would, to please fill out an application. Applications are available from the administration office. You take it, there's probably 7-10 questions on it. Fill that out, return it to the office. I'm going to ask that you have it back to the office by June 1st. That way I can make a selection of the board, the finance committee members, so that we can then present them to the full board at the June 2nd meeting, so that we can begin our work in June, going through the budget. So I have several applications already, but I wanted to open it up in case there were any others, either at home or here present today. I realize there's a short time that you have, up until the weekend or more, until close of business on Monday to get your application filled out, get it back to the office, and then we'll move from there. The other thing, Mr. President, the ABRC committee has been meeting regularly during this COVID-19 situation. I can tell you that this past month, since we moved the meeting, we met last Thursday. We had about 11 cases. We moved our meeting from the administration building because of the close quarters there. We held it in a room here in the clubhouse, even though the clubhouse was closed. That allowed us to do social distancing. Most everyone who attended, members of that committee, wore their masks. And I would say it was probably about 12, 15 minutes we were through those 11 cases. But we have continued to work during this time based upon the situation.
Okay, thank you. Rosemary, do you have anything for us?
Two things. I'd like to thank Wayne, Ko, and Tom for all the work they did. They were extraordinary. They enlightened me because I was dumb about fluids. But anyway, thank you for all the work that you guys did.
Thank you, Rosemary.
And the other thing, I want to apologize to the members. I know we usually have a big bash on Memorial Day, but with the situation with COVID-19, we were not able to. Fingers crossed, hopefully we'll be able to do something in November for Veterans Day.
Okay. Ms. Nutter?
I just have one thing. I've had a few residents contact me about, in prior years, that when the fire or rescue wagons came into the community, code enforcement would, take them to the people's homes. That, some people have said that it takes quite a bit of time because the fire and rescue wagons can't locate the home. I'm just passing it on.
Linda?
Nothing right now, for the Friday night bingo still is on hold due to the COVID-19. I do know that we do need some volunteers for the beautification committee, especially men. We're looking, we've got ladies on the beautification, but we need some help from men. So if anybody out there in TV land is interested in helping to keep Brookridge beautiful, please get up with them up at the front office, or you can call me right now. Gail was the liaison for the beautification committee, but if need be, if you're interested, please give me a call and I can pass it on. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll go to members' comments. No motions or consensus will be considered. I will take your questions, write them down, and bring them up at the next meeting so we know what we're talking about. Yes, Beverly?
We have members' comments?
Yes.
Beverly Epstein, Unit 6. I'm also the chair of the unit reps. I'm awaiting direction from our board for when our unit reps can have a meeting and when we can safely meet with residents. Any ideas?
I haven't heard anything from the governor yet. I was hoping that it was going to be lifted June 1st. I don't know. I mean, we're waiting on a daily basis to hear something from him.
Okay, so
Ray, have we gotten anything in on that yet?
I've not seen any new bulletins.
Okay.
all right, because the unit reps have been asking me, we have over 40 new residents.
I know. I'm signed.
Wonderful. Also, my second item is, as a unit rep, residents come to me with their questions and concerns. And I've had several complaints about political flags. Political signs are not permitted, but we do not have any rules on flags. I would like the board to consider a rule to reflect the state statute 720.304 that states only United States flag, flag of the state of Florida, flags of the United States military, and POW MIA flags.
What was that rule number again, Beverly?
Here, I have a copy of it for you.
Okay. If you don't mind. Thank you, Beverly.
Thank you for considering that.
Okay. 304. Okay, we'll look into this. We'll discuss it. You're welcome. Wayne Barton, and then the lady back there.
Very quickly, on political signs, federal law prevents any HOA from prohibiting the political sign. I can have a political sign in my yard by federal law. It's just something you need to look into. Ray probably could back me up on that. It's not a state law, it's federal law that says you have to allow at least one political sign.
You have to allow the signs, yes?
Can't stop it.
Can't
I
stop it.
got in trouble with my HOA because of it.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Yes, ma'am, please step forward.
Yeah, quickly, will you?
My name is Jackie McCabe, and I live in 6.
I'm sorry,
Jackie McCabe.
Jackie McCain, okay?
I have a couple of questions I would like answered when I finish reading this page. And I have also a note from a neighbor who was not well enough to come this evening. I'm concerned about this thing that's on the computer that everybody seems to be reading that has a lot of things that are not very pleasant to say about Brookridge. It really hurts me because I love this place. And I've heard a lot of things about the people that write it. The one that I knew told me, oh no, I wouldn't do that, but I've heard the opposite, and I'm very disturbed by it. But I picked up and have it with me if you want to see it. The envelope I received was postmarked in California. It's a company that is running next door Brookridge. It also ran it in another, I have this stuff if you want. In another state, when people moved here, she had already been on it, out in another state in that place. And I've had another friend who came to me and said, don't get so upset about it. I get that stuff too, and I still live in Hernando, but they started doing it in my development. So it's not just us, so everything we hear is not local. My second question is, why do some of the board members feel the need to attack Mr. Giroux? I moved here 15 years ago, and I have seen 2 or 3 general managers, and none could compare to the job he is doing. He's always available to help in any way possible or offer a suggestion or a solution for them to consider. He ranks top, having seen the past managers. Then there's the matter of Mr. Schubert being criticized. He's always helpful, and when I needed assistance because a truck was blocking me in my driveway and he refused to move so I could go to work, I called the office and they sent me help. Came so fast I couldn't believe it. Anything else you read is an outrage. It's a shame. The people at the gate are marvelous. The security team is fantastic. It's not from local residents that I'm hearing complaints, unless it's a recent local resident that thinks that it's all being written by local people. I don't really think it is, but that's just my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Hang on, kid.
Okay, Captain Schubert, you have a person back there? You're next, sir. Well, wait, after this person right here, Paul.
Come on, you only got 3 minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Harrison, Unit 3. First of all, I'd like to congratulate, since we haven't been able to do it in front of a board, all the new board members that have been elected, also the returning board members. Congratulations. I hope the board can come together as one unity to serve the betterment of the people of Brookridge. Mr. President, I have a question to ask, a favor to ask you, which was never done previously at the other board. I had asked that the last 5 capital improvement projects, the clubhouse bathrooms, admin bathrooms and break room, the pool, the last road paving project, which was Midmore, Weatherford, and of course, the hall here and the wainscoting, that was the last 5. I would like to ask you to go and find out what the total cost of each of these projects were to us, and go to the reserve fund to see how much was in at that time, subtract that from what the total cost was for each one of these, and come back to us and let us know if these were either over or under budget.
Okay. Paul, would you do me a favor? That's a long list. Would you put that in my mailbox?
Sure.
I appreciate it.
All right, I'll write it down and put it in the office mailbox.
Okay, thank you. Mark to my attention.
Okay. Second thing is, in the future, I think all large capital improvement projects should require an ad hoc committee like we have now here for the flooring, so we have a good general way of what construction or what has to be done and the costs. And then my last thing would be, I'd like to see the treasurer's report redone so it's more easily to understand. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, sir.
I'm Ken Walls. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I just want
Unit number?
to congratulate the new board, and first time I've got to see a bunch of you, and I hope, I guess next Tuesday there'll be a workshop meeting.
I hope so.
I hope we can get it where we can have more people attend that one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just gotta wait for what the science is gonna tell us.
And it's been a pleasure. We've been on the outside looking in. But thank you for moving forward.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, yeah. Thank you, Ed, I could be, gotta let him pick on you.
Thank you, Ken. Anybody else have a shiver?
Not back here.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn this?
I'll make a motion.
Linda makes a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Dennis Boudon. You know, it's taken me a long time to say his last name.
Really?
I used to call him Boudon, but it's Boudon. All right, so this meeting is now adjourned.
Stream.
That's all right.
And stream.